And so the idea of Swiss lime oak, and that's here. All you have to do is look around at the trees, the large trees around the nursery here at Tree of Life, and you can see some very good specimens. If you have room for an oak, the common one from Southern California is the Quercus agrifolia, but also we have close by Mesa oak, which is Quercus engelmanni, and it doesn't get quite as big, but it's a start. No list would be complete without, as trees, for Southern California, oak and sycamore. So the next one is the sycamore. Here's one in the 15-gallon. It's just leafing out right now. It's a deciduous tree. These are the largest sycamores. That one over there by the barn happens to be the largest sycamore in the country, but it's not registered as such because it does not have a single trunk. And in order to send the data off to the American Forestry Association, the measurements have to be taken from a single trunk. Well, it's a multi-trunk tree by nature, so I'm a little bit perturbed at that rule. But if you did the other two criteria, which is height and spread, it beats the national champion. So, okay? If you took all the branches and added them up, it would kill the national champion by a long shot. What it was is a single trunk tree that died and all the suckers came up, or the main trunk was destroyed, and the suckers came up, and that's what you have there. Go check it out. You'll see the largest sycamore in the country. Then, as far as evergreen trees, one of the cleanest and greenest and most popular is the Catalina Cherry, Prunus lyonii. This grows on the Channel Islands, offshore, native, and it gets about 25 feet tall, has these clean green leaves. It does have a lot of fruit drop. It does make cherries, which have a large seed and a very small layer of fruit. The birds like it, the squirrels like it, jays and things like that will take them. It's a great wildlife plant. It's a wonderful tree for a slope or for out in the garden someplace, but not around a pool or near a deck or something, because the fruit drop can be, quite a lot. But it's good as a hedge or a screen. Since it grows fast, has dense habit, very carefree, especially here on the coast. Western redbud. Here's one. The weeds in this pot look healthier than the plant itself. That's bad news. Sorry about that. Gotta get that. But it is very healthy. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a deciduous plant. You may know Western redbud from the pictures. The problem with Western redbud for Southern California gardens is that it looks too good in pictures, and it's always desirable. People want it because they see these pretty pictures. I'm hoping that it's even in this one. Yeah, of course. There it is. Probably in Palo Alto or some garden where it gets colder. It's, yeah, I can tell the grass in the back and the way the other shrubs are performing. It's Bay Area. It's a great large shrub, small tree, many trunks, beautiful magenta red flowers in the spring before the leaves come out, and will do well a little bit inland where it gets hotter during the summer and where it gets a certain amount of winter chill. It's like so many of the stone fruits and that need winter chill in order to bloom well. This won't do well in Newport Beach. I mean, it'll grow, but it won't look like that ever. So it has its place, and it's on our 30 plant list, but it needs a place where it can have winter chill. If you've driven up the road to Yosemite Valley from Merced through whatever that little place is, Mariposa, and you go up through that gate, that road is lined with redbud along the Merced River, I guess that is. And if you go in the spring, it's absolutely fantastic. Well, it's a great plant for the garden too, but it needs its chill and its space. Okay, getting into tall manzanitas, we have Lester Roundtree, which is one that's out by the roundhouse, flowering right now, a specimen that's sprawling out about 8-10 feet tall, and everybody knows it. It's out there in the retail area. You can look at it. But also Refugioensis, which is a species on the list, Arctostaphylus refugioensis. Ensis always means from a place. So Refugio is a canyon up near Santa Barbara. It's where Reagan had his western, not his western whiteout. You know western whiteout? Yeah, I guess he did. His ranch, yeah, cut firewood and stuff like that. Well, that's where this is from, okay? Refugio Canyon, Refugio area of the Santa Barbara coast. And That's where it gets its name. It gets about 15 feet tall or taller. Beautiful, shiny red bark, classic manzanita, green leaves, white flowers, tons of flowers. I think it's still flowering out there in the garden here at the Tree of Life demo garden. And it's a very, very easy to grow, large manzanita. Fast growing for a manzanita and really worthwhile. And the other one on there is called Bird Hill, which is an Arctostaphylos from the Napa area as well, and we grow that. Ceanothus, the tall Ceanothus, this is the representation that we brought today, thank you Junior, is Ceanothus Ray Hartman, a cultivar, and it is a fast grower to about 15 feet, a solid 8 to 10, can get taller, same spread, glob, sort of a big globe, lots of blue flowers, kind of sky blue, same color as the April sky. Try photographing this on a sunny day, it won't work because the flowers just go away. It's just like, there's the sky, there's the flower, what's the difference? Which is really cool. You can pick it up with your eye, but it's hard on a camera. And it's good for a screen or a large wildlife type shrub or in a hedge. By the way, I mentioned the Prunus slayeni in a hedge. I can talk about this in a hedge. And as a general rule with native plants, when you want to do a screen and you want to do a hedge, unless you need to have some formality and you have one type of plant and trim it up and have it be this classic sort of hedge, which some people do need. If you just want screening and you want privacy or shade or sound barrier or whatever the other reason for a hedge would be, it's very good to mix it up, to have this diversity and kind of stagger it in there with Ceanothus and Prunus and Arctostaphylos and other tall, rowdy, fast-growing shrubs, because then you get this whole diversity thing. You get the whole wildlife thing coming in into what was a problem, just this utilitarian, I need a wall made out of plants, but now you do it with 3 or 4 different types of plant, and you get a lot of interest, different flowering seasons, and better habitat. So that's a quick little tip on hedges. Okay, so we talked about the Mahonia, how it came about, but what it grows like. It gets about 10 feet tall by about an 8-foot spread. Wonderful yellow flowers in the spring. That's why it's called Golden Abundance. These are followed by beautiful dark purple Concord grape style purple berries, which the birds love. It has a slight prickle to it, so it could be a good little deterrent for traffic. It's not going to, impale anybody or anything. It's just prickly enough to not want to walk through it. And it does have this cool habit of in the fall, every now and then one leaf here, one leaf here, one leaf there turns this sort of brilliant red. And so there's always something interesting going on, whether it's flower, fruit, or some foliage color on Mahonia Golden Abundance. It was developed by the Rancho Santa Ana Botanic Garden and patented by them. The patent has run out, but it was a plant that was so popular and good that they patented it, and they still are credited with developing Mahonia Golden Abundance. We've talked about Toyon quite a bit. I didn't say that it's the name since it flowers in the summer and sets red berries in the winter, and everybody's familiar with the clusters of red berries. It reminded some of the early settlers around the turn of the century that moved into Los Angeles area of holly. So they actually named the town of Hollywood after this plant, which was in lots of red berries in the hills around Hollywood in the Christmas time. It looks a little bit like holly. It's not related. And we, at Christmas, when we have our wreath making workshops, which we invite you to it next year, we use this.